Thanks very much, Richard. Good morning, everybody. As Richard says, I had a sort of 30-year career, largely in HR as a practitioner. I did 5 years at PricewaterhouseCoopers as a consultant, and also more latterly at CBRE as an HR director. But I took a conscious decision in 2018 to leave after 12 years at CBRE, and I went into the contracting and interim game. And I also took a decision to kind of make a bit of a life change and study for this. I hope you can see it. It's my London Blue Badge tour guiding qualification that I got earlier this year. It took 2.5 years and 13 examinations. I have to say it was the hardest thing I think I've ever done. At the kind of high point of my exams, I had to have 80 5-minute presentations internalized in my head, because I got examined in things like St Paul's Cathedral, National Gallery, British Museum, Tower of London, Westminster Abbey, and so on and so forth. But I have to say, I absolutely love it. And if it gave me one thing, or a couple, it gave me lots of things, but a massive appreciation for art and architecture, the visual stuff that I hadn't had before. So I took this change of direction. So what do I do now? I still keep my hand in with HR, contracting and consulting, but I do guided walks and tours for companies and for private groups. And as Richard says, I'm going to try and give you a little bit of food for thought for how this may play as companies think about getting staff back into the office, because I've done a number of guided walks for companies like, well, obviously CBRE, I was there for some time, and Charles Taylor Insurance Services, Field Fisher, HSBC, ISG, and also other smaller practices like McLean Partnership and Ascend. And the guided walks tend to be popular because the main benefits I think that accrue from that are, there's an obvious well-being kind of payback, isn't there? You're out of the office, you're getting a bit of fresh air, you're getting your step count up, but there's also the obvious knowledge benefits that people get of the kind of context of the area in which we all now live and work. One of the walks that I do, which is very popular with companies, particular for their grads and their apprentices, and I've taken out grads and apprentices on this, is the City of London, the rise of money. So, what was it that made this Roman settlement on the northern shore of the River Thames in AD 47, across the course of the next 2,000 years, become this kind of great metropolis, which is a magnet for international capital and for people. So we get a bit of context as we go through that. Other skills that I think from a learning and development perspective it helps with is things like storytelling, active listening, observation. I will say to my groups, look up, look around, because we're very fortunate in London insofar as it's not a hugely planned city. Obviously, it was shaped by some huge events like the Great Fire of London and the bombing in World War II. But the built environment is really a mix of completely different styles, things like neoclassical styles, Gothic, Art Deco, and it's getting people to kind of drink that in as they walk around, take the earphones off and pay attention. There's also, as I said, storytelling, and sometimes on particular stops, I will say something, and I might invite one of my audience to maybe do a minute or two, kind of bringing that to life themselves. I think obviously one of the things that companies say to me is the incentive that it gives to bringing people back into the office. It's rather than the kind of classic social of just kind of piling down the pub, which I'm not kind of knocking, and obviously there's still a place for socializing and doing that and going for a drink. So a lot of my work happens in the evening around about 4 o'clock, when companies have maybe had a strategy day, or they brought people together. They maybe want to do a 2-hour walk and then go, they maybe go for a drink after that. Ones that are particularly popular, I've said about the City of London and the ascent of money. Spitalfields is very popular because that's a theme of immigration and kind of regeneration with that area. One area that's very popular is Southwark, and I headline that as my Saints and Sinners, Pilgrims and Prisons walk. But there's a number that I do, and I'm happy to talk to anybody about that outside of this forum. But that's really quick summary of the main benefits of taking people on guided walks and site tours as well, because I do site tours. Thank you.